During my time at seminary, I read some books about how to engage with others, but I could never quite find what I was looking for in those texts. All too often, I read the words war, opponent, and battle mixed in with tips about having discussions about faith. All too rarely have I stumbled upon the words gentleness, relationship, and love. If you're listening to this book, that probably means you're hoping for tips about having real relationships with people. I recently heard the term missional friendship, a friendship you enter with the primary goal of sharing your faith. The person becomes your mission. I'm not saying these kinds of relationships are bad, but that's not solely what I talk about in this book. Instead, I'm encouraging you to seek real, authentic relationships with people, the kind that can greatly benefit your life and theirs. Maybe one day you'll get asked about your faith, but maybe you won't. If you do, then this book is going to give you what you need to be ready for that day. The point is, without a real relationship, one with genuine trust and love, you're probably never going to earn a place at the table. Let me give you an example. Think about Thanksgiving and Christmas. Typically, those holidays are filled with family visits, and so often I hear people say, religion and politics always come up at these gatherings. Yup, and you know why? Because of the already existing relationships in those settings. Usually, family gatherings include people you grew up with, the people you've done life with. You've experienced life and sometimes death with them. And that's why such gatherings are a more comfortable spot for somewhat challenging topics like religion and politics. How does this transfer outside of familial relationships? Time, trust, and tact. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen with ulterior motives in place. I'm talking about friendships that are enduring. I recognize that there is a spectrum. Some friends are the kind you'll want to retire with, go on family trips with, and celebrate every occasion with. Others are the kind you'll see for dinner every couple of months, but you pick up right where you left off. Still others you talk with once or twice a year, but there's a bond that exists despite time and distance. In other words, I'm not talking about people you just met at the playground or your kid's Little League game. Sometimes opportunities will arise in those circumstances, but more often than not, that's just a chance to meet someone and set up a play date. Ultimately, this is a book about relationships. Yes, you'll learn some about apologetics. Yes, you'll learn some about evangelism. But more than anything, you'll learn about love. Because as Christians, we're called to love God and love people. Once we do those things well, it gets much easier to talk about our faith, share truth, and make disciples. After all, we should want to shout from the rooftops about the hope we have. This book will help you do that with confidence, grace, and love.